Welcome to class, everybody. Hey, you in the back, listen up. Did you play A Realm Reborn in A Realm Reborn time? I don't think you did, because only crazy people were playing then. And it's a good thing I'm crazy. And that is because, sweet class, that today we're gonna learn all about the Crystal Tower raids and what it was like to do them back in A Realm Reborn. So pay attention. Well, first I just have to queue up, and because Crystal Tower is an Allegan raid, I'm gonna play the Allegan job. Summoner! This should only be a couple minutes. Before even being able to do the Crystal Tower raids, you had to unlock them. This was a strenuous task. The quest was very long, and one of them had you do fates. There were 4 of them. Actually, you might still have to do that. Unsure. There was a fate in this area, you see, and this was a whole thing. This fate did not spawn. Actually, here it is. But see, here's my point. This fate was on a very strange timer. And so, if you were playing the game for an evening with some pals, you wanted to go unlock the Crystal Tower raids, well, maybe you had to wait a half hour for this fate to spawn in order to even unlock it in the first place. Now I just have to wait on this queue. Maybe I should have been a tank main after all. Ah, okay, here we go. You see this number, 3 out of 3? Yeah, that's wrong. It used to say 6 out of 6. That's right, each of the alliances would have 2 tanks, just like an 8-man raid does, and so there were 6 tanks in here. If you think that 3 tanks is already a lot for people fighting for aggro, imagine 6 of them. So I will say that this was the very first 24-man alliance raid that ever came out, and naturally this was the first one I ever did. So coming in here was really, really neat. Because all you ever did prior to this point was 4-man dungeons, Castrum and Praetorium had 8. And then coming in here and seeing this giant zone, you're like, oh my gosh, what am I getting myself into? And then you are introduced to the first shit fest of Final Fantasy XIV Alliance raids. And these guys, the Valifors, would really just cleave the entire party because the tanks didn't know how to face them anymore. Oh, and I got cleaved by the head. And there's another interesting mechanic, which is the floor becomes poisonous danger. You actually saw it before, and I think it'll maybe do it soon, where this becomes poison. Yeah, this floor becomes poison too, and you would actually all have to stand on only these little squares. Yeah, that's fun, fitting 24 people on those. Speaking of anime girl thighs, we are now officially sponsored by Gamer Sups. It's a dream come true. You could get anime girl thighs, or goof juice by the moist man himself, with other flavors like blowhole blast, dragon fruit punch, guacamole gamer fart 9000, and titty milk. If you haven't heard of Gamer Subs, it's a caffeinated delicacy filled with nootropics, antioxidants, and it's sugar-free. 1 tub of these is 100 servings, so it's a great way to kick that Starbucks addiction. And it's much easier than making coffee. You just put it in one of these waifu cups and then you shake it. And yes, I did say waifu cups. This one is the special day or night. Not only that, but they got the Gamer Soups. I think it's called Gamer Soups because it's the easiest possible ramen you could ever have. It even includes a foldable fork. You don't even gotta dirty one of your forks. And starting today until September 13th, they're doing one of their biggest deals. Using the link in the description and my code LarryZor, you could get free shipping. And you know what that means, right? With free shipping plus the free samples they offer, you get to try Gamer Subs completely free. You should try out some of the fun flavors like emotional damage. And maybe one day we could get a special flavor, like, I don't know, maybe something like Healers Adjust. I'm so excited to be partnered with them and their memes. So if you'd like to try out Gamer Subs, use the link in the description below and use code LarryZor to get free shipping off your order. And now back to the video. And here we come to the first boss of an alliance raid. You did not tank him in the middle here. This was, oh, this tank is doing a little throwback. So this is what you would do. You would drag the Bone Dragon all the way to the end. Each skeleton that would spawn here, a tank would pull to the edges. Shield lob, shield lob, shield lob. Bring it all the way over here. Everybody would kill it. The raid would have to spread out a bit in order to get all of them at the same time. And then once the skeletons all spawned again, you'd have to like super DPS them down because you don't want any of them to hit the dragon. Now it doesn't matter at all. This was a very strange mechanic. We had to separate into 3 different lanes here, and we just happened to call it A, B, and C. The ants that spawned really hurt, so a tank would have to go grab them and bring it over here in order for the 4 ranged up here to kill it. And then if any of the parties wipe and their Atomo stays, eventually these ads overrun you. An Iron Giant will spawn and just walk over and swing a giant sword and just wipe all of you. Oh no, oh gosh. Hey, here he is! There we go. Well, this feels so authentic, you guys. This is great. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. All right, we did it. We cleared the... It's not even a boss. It's just trash. This one was crazy. I almost can't even explain all the mechanics. It's just so much. As you know, one of the party becomes a ghost, and then they can actually, damage Thanos. The main goal here is to preserve your magic pot, because all of the enemies that spawn want to kill your magic pot. Meanwhile, one of the 6 tanks have to also tank the Nemesis. Somehow, some of them run around attacking healers still. That's right, because back then, if a healer used like, Medica 2 or something, it generated so much aggro. You just see all of the aggro lines going pew, 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 all onto the white mage, and then the white mage would be gone after that. Also, there are stairs here, but everybody is a heathen and they don't use them. So we, however, are civilized people. Next is another not boss, but interesting trash. You see, they don't do this so much in 24-mans nowadays, now do they? These Allegan napalms were a big problem. They just die now, and oh, well, one blew up. If they reach the bomb in the middle, it gets bigger. And guess what happens if too many of them reach? Well, yeah, that's right. The bomb explodes and you wipe on a trash pull. And it happened a lot. Behemoth. This one is also strange. You see these towers on the side, the energy tower console? Well, you had to interact with them. Actually, I can do it right now. And so interacting with them will actually pause the electricity going on and killing everybody. So you would have one tank on Behemoth, one tank doing the Iron Giant, and the other 4, each of them would just stand at a tower console and push the button. They wouldn't even do the fight. That is all they would do. Again, we kind of just agreed this is A, B, and C, and it's just stuck like that this whole time. So this guy, Phlegathon, that wasn't even his name. His name was Acheron. Usually people would be up here on the boss and wouldn't notice that the white mage is back there being attacked by a claw. And nowadays we kind of just try and bum rush this so we don't have to do that other wall thing again. And yes, hello Iron Claw, attacking the healer. And next up is actually going inside of the Crystal Tower. Because yes, that's right. Even though this is called Labyrinth of the Ancients, at the time we just called it the Crystal Tower. So it was incredibly exciting to be able to go in here and be like, wow, another 24-man raid. These balls here, you gotta bring them to these towers. When you hit this tower, you get a ring. So it's not gonna happen, but Skilla will eventually go into the middle and a bunch of ads will spawn and you gotta kill those ads, right? And then you have to operate the towers in order to like keep yourself safe. But yeah, and the Ancient Flare, like that one didn't happen. She was casting it there, but the only way to survive Ancient Flare was to stand in a puddle. Ah, yes, our Quran here. This is the reason why. The only thing I remember from this fight was being really mad at these NPCs. They are wearing the High Allegan tank set, but they're a black mage. And so that made me upset that I could not also wear that. This guy is the epitome of bosses that were destroyed. Eventually, he goes into this other phase where you have to like zoom over to these platforms. And there are ads on each of them. And they kill whatever ads are here, then they bounce, go to the next platform, kill those ads, bounce, go to the next platform, kill them. This is what you would have to do. This thing was tethered to him. And so in order to save the party from him getting like super powered up, one person would stand in here. You know, you still have to kill these things, because if they reach him, they blow up, and that's no good. The cum-cums still show up, which I still don't know why they're called that. Though, I will say that tanks used to have to tank them. They really hurt. Okay, actually, they still hurt. Yep. People are able to just completely stack them now altogether. I don't remember that. For some reason, what I remember is you could not stack them. When these meteors actually showed up, it was more of a DPS check. Sometimes they would get really close and you'd be like, oh boy, we really got to make sure we actually kill these things. And yeah, actually, you know what? Zonde was a pushover even back then. This raid fight has a bunch of violence in the music, and that's good. So the neat thing about World of Darkness, you kind of get to see most of the mechanics that are in here. It's just that they really don't matter so much anymore. Like, there were times pulling this first trash pull here that people would die. Okay, so if you get 4 stacks of either one of these, you die. I don't actually know if that can still happen. Yeah, so he cast level 100 Flare. I remember at the time being so jealous of him because I was playing Black Mage and I loved Flare. I was like, what does he get level 100 Flare? I can't wait till I have level 100 Flare. And guess what? I can be level 100 and cast Flare now. How cool is that? So these hourglasses, the reason why these are out here is as soon as you kill all of them, this roulette stops, and then he'll blow up. That doesn't sound like so special, does it? I think people weren't so good at dodging AoEs, and this 5-minute AoE here, people still got stuck in it and died. That's how good we were at the game at the time. This was neat to see too, because we turned the corner, and oh, there's some ads, right? And we look at, wait, that's the boss from last raid. What's going on here? Alligans really like cloning. That's just, it's one of their hobbies. Oh, look at that, another clone. Whoa. This 5-headed dragon. Well, first of all, he has 5 heads. Each of them are different mechanics. And he likes to throw all of them at you all at the same time. Fun fact, this is also when Ninja came out. So seeing the Doton circles here made me think it was a mechanic at the time. Killing these heads was a big problem. Sometimes discordance would still go off and kill everybody. He would drop actually multiple poison puddles and a slime would spawn in each of them. The slimes would then try and go to each other, and if they fused, they'd become a giant slime and explode and really hurt people. Then we got here and we saw the Atomoses and we were like, we know what to do. A, B, C. This fight caused so much drama all the time because everybody had a different methodology of how to deal with it. The most common one was the ABC formula. Party A kills the ads, B goes in the belly, and C does the chains. But nowadays, you could just throw all the DPS in the belly. All right, so you see how few people are in here right now? Yeah, if that happened, we would be screwed. We had Group C do the chains. Now anybody could really do it, but sometimes the chains wouldn't get done. We were not very good at mechanics, you guys. Sometimes you'd see the party, if you were in A, you'd see Party B go inside the belly and go, okay, guys, salute you, good luck. And then you would just see in the Alliance UI here that Party B is now dead. You'd be like, oh no, something bad happened in there. It's just such a good fight because it caters to having 3 distinct parties in an Alliance raid. We need more Alliance bosses like this. You know the Cloud of Darkness, and you know her as a pushover. Back in the day, she was not a pushover. If you ever got World of Darkness, Duty in Progress, you knew that they were on the Cloud of Darkness. All right, so these meteors, we're doing it right, but you don't actually need to anymore. But in A Realm Reborn, if you missed any one of those, it would be detrimental to you guys surviving. Same with these clouds. You really didn't want any of them reaching her, but you used to have to stand in front of them to slow them down because they had so much health. You would need people to be assigned to getting each cloud and standing there. And during this phase, she had stone skins on, a stone skin for magical damage and physical. But yeah, so the clouds plus the meteors plus people not DPSing them down enough because they had so much health. Many would get to her and eventually you'd go, oh no, we're dead. You would actually caster LB right before these walls showed up, and you would actually be able to hit all 3 of them. Yeah, you would get like multiple limit break 3s in this fight. That's how crazy it was. Also, there would be these like worms that would spawn. I haven't seen them in a while, but they'd spawn randomly like all over the place, and you'd have to like play whack-a-mole with them. And if you left them up, they would be like a moorball kinda. And that concludes our raid series of the Crystal Tower. Congrats on clearing your Crystal Tower runs. It was harder back in A Realm Reborn. You don't understand, you guys. We had to know how to do our rotations. It was expected of me to know how to press fire 1 over and over again until I got a fire starter proc. And then sometimes you wouldn't even get any proc the whole time. It was terrible. I don't think they're listening to me. All right, that is all. Class dismissed. Get out. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.